Hey, what's going on? So I thought I'd make this video about the centrifugal clutch. Seems to be a whole freaking novel to learn about these things, and people actually don't know much about them or how to take care of them properly. Let's get started. Remember, real men use 3 pedals. Ah! Okay, so this engine is basically equivalent. It's a 5.5, I think 190 Intech. It's equivalent to the Predator 212, basically. Same setup. So what this guy does, he's basically the automatic transmission. When you start this sucker, the shaft right there, engine's running, right? So the internal part will spin, all right? And so at idle, when an engine starts up, it's supposed to be anywhere, a couple hundred RPMs, all the way up past 1500 RPMs is considered an idling engine. And this guy will not engage. And there's some little parts, basically, without getting really too in-depth and technicals, because it doesn't really matter for people like me. We just need to know if it works or not. So faster it goes, higher the engine RPMs go up. The little magic parts in here will start to, because of the force, will expand outwards, and it'll start to catch, and then it'll make it go, like that. But wait, there's more. So let's talk about the next part, which is heat damage. How do you know if this guy is damaged? I'll tell you. If you start your engine at idle, it's just idling, not even warmed up yet, still have the choke on, and your go-kart's trying to take off from you, it means that this guy has been overheated, is damaged from abuse and probably lack of lubrication, and we'll get to that in just a moment. So got to take care of these things. So if it's automatically taken off and you're at low RPMs, your centrifugal clutch is locked up. Engage, not good. All right, let's talk about oiling. Oiling. When? What? You're supposed to oil these things? Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. So this cart is a kiddie cart, and kiddie cart, low power, right? Low horsepower, and I'm actually making this for my kids. Well, kids don't really understand either go or don't go. They're just gonna drive whatever they feel comfortable and they're having fun at. So, and I'll get a little bit more on that. But when you have kids driving this thing, you should really be oiling this thing at least once an hour, at the least. I wouldn't go any more than 2 hours, especially if they're like putting around, because you'll burn this thing up pretty quick. So you got to keep it cool. That's how you keep metal in good shape. Don't let it get overheated, because it starts to change form and crack, right? Yeah, that's how everything works. That's physics. So how in the world do you oil this thing? We're going to talk about that now. So you're really best off to have like a little oil can. I actually don't know where my oil can is right now, because my fucking garage is an absolute nightmare. But anyways, if you just have a little can, just like 1 or 2 drops right where that snap ring is perfect. So this is inboard. I'm going to throw it on like this. Come on, baby. Alright, so there we go. So that's on right there, and this is called inboard. There's different applications, you can do this different ways, but anyways, so the sprocket's on the inside, but you're best off to get you like something small and just put a little dab where that snap ring is. Now, snap ring's now down because the key, I'm just kind of lightly turning it, and you can see that there's the snap ring, and what you want to do is get just a little dab right there. Not in the holes where the friction meets, because you'll actually create premature wear on here, because it's it's slipping. Now you put oil all over the place. Now if this happens, what you could also do is you could also put some brake cleaner, because brake cleaner will actually break down a lot of that oil and stuff. The type of oil you want to use is either 30 weight or 10W 30. So those are really good. But having a squirt can and just 1 or 2 dabs right there. And if you don't even want to mess with all that, I would limit riding time to maybe like 15, 20, half hour, something like that, if you're worried about getting too hot. But still, this is a spinning part. There are bearings right there. So that's the whole point for this. So is to prolong the life of this sucker. Alright? So again, do not squirt oil in these holes. This is how it moves the air, and then this is where the pads are. It's literally right under here where my thumb is. So on the snap ring, a couple drops right there. Don't be generous, and do it when it's warm. Let's say after you've been riding it around, something like that, or the kid's been riding it around, let it sit for a minute or two, not when it's scorching hot or nothing. But so that way, if it's warm, it'll seep down in all the little cracks and crevices a little bit better. so better penetration. Let's talk just a little bit about the chain. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to end up reusing this chain just yet or not. I do got another one. This one was not long enough. So this thing was kinked. It was not even able to move like you're seeing right now. And a little bit of research found out, a lot of experienced guys, they say just replace the damn thing. But I'm poor folk, so I'm going to use what I have. This is not competition or anything. This is just a fun cart. So piece of advice there. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about cooling this down when it's going. So if it's partially engaged, it's going to create a lot more heat because it's partially riding on this. Pretty similar to how your brakes work on your car with the caliper. And so the faster this engine spins at about 2,000 RPMs, this thing is really locking in. And at about 25 or 2,600 RPM, this baby should be locked in all the way. That's 2,600 RPMs in the motor, so full throttle open. This guy's locked and should be full bore, and there should be no friction here. And then this gives this guy the chance to cool down. So kids don't really understand that, but best thing you could do is just be the parent and say, hey, you got 20, 30 minutes, give it a break. And, you know, that'll help this thing out a lot. Keep oil. Yeah. Also, go-karts are great for kids to learn on how to drive, get them ready for the road. And one critical thing you could teach them on here is do not ride the brake. You know, it's just so easy to double foot it, you know, use the brake and the gas at the same time. I know I was guilty of that too when I was a kid. But, you know, so here's the brake. This is a really old-fashioned, I don't know the name of this guy, but it's a brake. And right now, I've got a new one sitting over on the table I'm getting ready to put on. But, you know, teach them. It's either the gas or the brake. Don't be riding both. You'll burn up your centrifugal clutch and you'll be spending another $40, $50 real quick. I'm gonna take out your allowance. Whoa. So now, let's talk about weight. How much is this guy actually able to hold? Well, most of these guys are only able to take about 400 pounds plus or minus. If you go over the weight limit, it just creates that much more stress on this guy. And not that it can't do it, but you're just shortening the life. So the less weight for this and the application will help also prolong the life of that. I feel like right now would be a really good chance to do a demonstration on how I'm gonna do the weight. So we can do just some quick subtraction and you can see how you could figure that out if you're over the limit. If you are, you know, you probably have to look into something else. So yeah. All right, so here we go. Got a digital scale here. All right, so block of wood there. We're gonna see how much the block of wood weighs.
Come on now, she doesn't want to waste both at the same time. I want to do it by itself. 227, I did. Alright, so we'll do this again. Alright, 227, I guess it's pretty accurate. Alright, now without the block of wood. Okay, so it's about 8 pounds, give or take. Alright, so now, wake it up. You know what, probably should have done something like this. Shows 52 pounds.
Okay, so that means we have about 44 pounds in the front. Now, it's not gonna be an exact, yeah, I realize I don't have the right equipment, but I'm in my friggin' garage, man, with the scale, so we're probably in our 40s or 50s pounds with the front end. So here we are, and in the back, you know, all the stuff on it pretty much. I am missing a few things, but we got 91 pounds, so that'll bring us 82, 83, somewhere around in there. So if I'm right, that means this go-kart weighs somewhere about 120, 130 pounds without any passengers. Yep. Oh, look at that. Look at that. 151. I was a little off, but I managed to get the whole thing pivoted on top of that. Yeah, buddy. So that's with the block on it. So let's just say the cart, by the time I get the cage on it and stuff and little accessories, she might be a 150-pound cart, 160 tops. Okay, so that means the max from that is 250. So, yeah, I shouldn't have a passenger more than 250 pounds or whatever I'm hauling. So, looks like on this particular go-kart, the max capacity is 250 pounds. Alright, well I hope you guys got something out of this video. Please like and subscribe. It's all about clutches, the centrifugal clutch. That's what the segment was on, and have a nice day.